Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Ultimate General American Revolution, the game currently in early access, which has been featured on our channel quite extensively lately. This isn't going to be the only thing we're going to cover for the indefinite future. I know some of you have asked about the next episode of Grand Tactician. We will get back to that probably in the next week, but for the moment anyway, we're going to continue our American Revolution campaign, and I will endeavor to hit the apply button when we do things. With that being said, this is episode number 6 of the Let's Play series, and we are playing as the Americans, the only campaign currently in the game of the 1775 campaign. We are into June 24th of 1775, and we have managed a pretty successful recent turn. So after some initial back and forth at Leicester, Providence, and Newport, and as well as Hartford, battling back and forth with the British in this general area, we did manage to kind of establish a line between Leicester and Providence, with the British back toward Middleborough and Boston. I believe they outnumber me at both of these cities, but combined our forces here seem to be, at the moment anyway, strong enough to prevent the British from driving west, and so we are content to keep a large percentage of our force here bottling the British in the east while we deal with them in the west. In our last episode, we took Fort Rice from the British, thereby sort of securing the interior supply lines of ours between Hartford and Albany in New York. And then we also took Fort Montgomery, effectively securing the southern flank of our forces. And now we are going to begin the drive on Saratoga. We have a couple of objectives up here in the upper right. One of them is to construct production infrastructure. Sorry, guys, I'm dumb. All you do is you go into the construction management tab here. If you want to do that, you go to the infrastructure production option, and then you choose to build in a given city, and it will build production infrastructure. However, when I did that briefly between episodes, it was going to take like 40 days. So we're not going to complete the construction infrastructure in time. So I'm not even going to bother because I can't afford, frankly, to spend 1,600 gold, which is what it costs on production, unless I'm going to get a tangible benefit. And right now, that benefit of 10 reputation, I don't think is enough. Our finances are precarious enough as it is, so we're not able to add that production until our finances get more sorted out. Meanwhile, we are going to drive on Saratoga. As I said, we've got about 1,000 men more than the British at the moment in this fort. It is a level 2 fort. We do know they probably have additional troops further north, but so if we're not going to do the construction infrastructure objective, our two other objectives here are to capture Boston and to attempt to capture Fort Ticonderoga. I believe we lose 15 reputation if we don't take Fort Ticonderoga in the next 66 days or 68 days, but we do gain quite a bit if we take it as well with some, I think, artillery pieces. So that's our objective. Saratoga next, and that'll happen once we get our 400 troops up from Fort Montgomery to Albany. It's the edge of the map. I don't know if the map will expand eventually. It looks like maybe there is some stuff out here further west, but at least for the moment, since there is no threat to Fort Montgomery directly, we'll bring these troops up. We'll have about 3,000 soldiers at Albany. We'll pull them all out of Albany, and we'll advance on Saratoga. Meanwhile, under the headquarters tab, 42 days away from Continental Army, we're starting to get close enough to where I might entertain the idea of accelerating that with a reputation spend, but I don't think spending all but 20 of our reputation right now would be terribly smart. What might be smart is I'm probably not raising any more regiments right this minute because I don't have enough officers to equip them, but let's do this. Let's pause Continental Army, do recruitment of low rank of officers. And then we will spend 13 prestige to get it done immediately. And so then we'll let the day move through here to the 25th because I need those 20 officers, frankly. We already had one incident where we couldn't recruit more companies for our troops because we didn't have enough officers. All right, so also apparently we got a donation. Free Artisans of Connecticut raised $2,200 for us. So yeah, that's nice. Meanwhile, you can see here the low-ranked officers up here. That little bonus there. You know, we need another project for our officer. We've got 54 reputation. I'd be tempted to do 7 days for officer recruitment because that'll give me 3 more senior officers that we can assign to command regiments and stuff. I don't even have the muskets to raise the regiments I have now. Let's do this. Let's do any of our units. We could rent more production from private factories to speed up musket production. That is an option. Also, we can recruit another artillery battery here. Apply. I did that already. Good. Wait, I can't because I don't have civilian muskets. Damn. Okay, so let's buy, now that we got a donation of some money, rather than waiting for more production, we're going to go ahead and buy 200 of these things. That's pretty much our entire donation. And then let's also go here to the headquarters, and we'll increase the amount of factories we're renting from private citizens. So right now we're renting 2 for 25. We'll rent 4 for 61. That'll increase our production here. To 50 civilian muskets per day. Again, it's going to cost more money, but it's cheaper than buying from the marketplace. But buying from the marketplace did allow me to buy another artillery piece and hit the apply button there. So now we've got 3 regiments of militia with artillery in Providence. That'll be an extra 100 or so soldiers showing up in Providence as well, to strengthen our defense against any potential British drive out of Middleborough toward our heartland. We've got like a strong front at Leicester and Providence, but nothing in the center. So it's like it's a hard exterior with goop in the middle. We could use more cash. I just don't like running so lean. Let's assign this officers things. It's only 7 days to get 3 more officers. I think we need them. And are these boys using civilians? They are. Okay. Okay. So we'll probably cut down. I don't know quite what the production is on the Sun one day. Did these troops make it up to Albany yet? No. All right, so let's do one more day. We'll do the 26th. And we'll see what the finances look like as the increased factory rental is and increased production of muskets is factored in. As Coker comes up here to join the Albany garrison. Or maybe not the garrison, but the army forming there. Privateer ship captured a British vessel in the waters near Marblehead, Massachusetts. The successful capture boosted colonial morale and showcased the effectiveness of our privateers. We got a brig. Okay. Oh, God. Our finances just dropped by like 3,000. That was bad. Wait, I didn't do the construction in Hartford. I didn't do that. That's why it dropped by so much. It's producing production infrastructure in Connecticut. But I didn't say to do that. Fudgesicle. Where's that brig anyway? We captured. Oh, up here. Good luck trying to escape from Falmouth out toward Newport. It would be nice to link these guys up and have like a little bit of a task force here. So we could build like a little fleet. Okay, so I guess with that being said, I think we're going to have to cut production. What's the I don't have any money. We're doing 50 per day. With the 200 we bought, oh God, we already used all 200 of the muskets that we bought to re-equip the troops that we already have. Can I sell anything? I don't really want to sell the 6-pound field guns because I can't buy those, but I could build a battery out of them eventually. I guess I'll sell the 6-pound naval guns could be useful. What do these ships have? They have 6-pound naval guns. Both of them. What about the brig up here? What does it have? Also 6-pounders. All right. Well, I guess in that case, if everybody's already got 6-pounders, there's not as much harm in selling them. Gives me 450 gold back. I need more galloper guns also to equip that new artillery regiment I'm raising. I don't have enough 6-pound field guns to do that. Can we sell the furs? I don't know what good the furs do me. Just sitting in my... So I can sell 2 furs for 1,000 gold, but I don't think it does anything for me, so let's go ahead and do that. Give me some cash. I think these are just things that we stole from smugglers and whatever. So we'll keep the production of muskets going, I guess, for at least one more turn. Again, I think the bulk of that negative finance report was, I don't know if the game triggered it. I don't think I triggered it to build that production infrastructure. Not enough guns, not enough muskets, not enough guns, not enough muskets. Okay. Is everybody here? I need more fucking muskets. They're almost all equipped fully. I guess they need 15 more men. These guys need 17 more men. 27 more men. 14, 27, 90. So we're not really to full strength yet. Although Albany's doubly problematic because we have way more troops than the camp can support. I suppose we just sold a bunch of stuff. 250 muskets per day is not going to be enough, though. And even if I jack the production way up, it's not going to be enough. So let's do 140 more that we'll buy for 1,300 gold. And then for goods, I'll go ahead and sell these cigars. I don't know what I can do with them otherwise. Give me a little bit of that money back. And I don't know what the textiles do. I'm assuming these are just... I'm not producing ships. And we are building a textile factory, so presumably we'll make more of those and we can sell more of those. But that gives me a nice little chunk of cash. We're back up to 1,600. I will buy enough to spend down to 1,000 gold, and that'll give me 213 in stock, plus the 50 we'll be making, so 250. Hopefully that's enough. Let's see what the finances look like tomorrow. I'm giving that regiment, which came up from Fort Montgomery, time to regain its conditioning before we march on Fort Saratoga, which we will begin on the 27th of June. How negative are we going to go? All right, so we lost 310 gold for one day. British merchants entered our ports by mistake. We can confiscate their cargo, but the merchants to who the cargo is intended won't be happy. But it's Rhode Island, which current loyalty is 100%. So I will take the 2,400 gold because God knows we need it. Especially for the Providence artillery where we don't have enough guns. I think a battery requires 6 guns. Or maybe it's 4 guns for the whole battery. But you can see actually we've got a little bit of a surplus of civilian muskets now that we've managed to buy some on the open market and continue to produce some. So we'll keep producing, but those 3-pound Galloper guns, which I need more of. How much is... Can I build 5 of them? 5 of them will... I'll still have a 700 net positive between the goods that we seized. So for negative 300 per day, we've got about 4 days left of gold. Now that I'm equipping those Galloper guns. The Fort Rice garrison is finally filled out nicely there. 510 men in that regiment. And I think most of these other guys are maxed. One company here in the Kingston Militia is a little bit shy. I guess all three companies are. But otherwise, mostly filled up. Albany doesn't have enough manpower. It's too small of a city at the moment. But we'll outnumber them by about 1,400 men. So let's get going. I'm going to form 2 brigades, we'll say. So we'll have these guys leave the fort, join a brigade. Do I have to click it twice? One for each regiment? Sometimes it seems like you got to do that. All right. I believe a brigade can have up to 4 regiments, I think. All right. Okay. We'll have our general leave, and then we will form an army. The army consists of 2 brigades of 1,200 and 1,500 men each, and we'll move on Saratoga. Come on, don't go out there all by yourself. I'm trying to get these guys. I don't know why the enemy's coming out of the fort at me. That seems ill-advised. But let's fight this battle. It looks like the enemy is going to come. Well, I guess we're going to be fighting on the Fort Saratoga battlefield. But you've got 2 brigades here, and I don't know if I'll be able to change their names eventually. But we outnumber the enemy by about, I don't know, 1,400 men. So this is an important battle, though. Fort Saratoga is a level 3 fort, which presumably means it's even more difficult to seize than the last one we fought. And the primary reason we succeeded at the last one was they didn't have enough men to garrison the whole fort, and so we were able to come in from behind. In this case, it does look like the enemy has 3 companies out front, but they definitely appear to have enough men to garrison this fort. So it looks the same graphically. It's also going to be raining. Maybe that'll lessen the firepower of their artillery and defense. We have... Are these guys militiamen? Or... Wait, militia. I'm curious why these guys are in a ragged formation and the other guys aren't. I would think maybe these guys are like Minutemen, but not entirely sure. In any event, let's go ahead and form our 2 brigades up. I wish there was a better way to move your units. They don't really have great options for issuing commands as like a... You should just be able to say, hey, brigade, move as a double line formation, move in a column formation, single line. Like, rather than... The drag and drop is cool, and I like it from the other Ultimate General games, but I also think when you're moving a large number of regiments, you should have more military type options, if that makes sense. Meanwhile, we can see here there is 1 enemy company out front. They've got at least 2 guns on the battlements back here that just shot at us. If the enemy's going to come at me piecemeal, that will play into my hands for sure. Yeah, like if they might not have enough room for all of their companies actually in this fort, but if I can engage like, oh, they've got some skirmishers. I wonder if they're coming out of the fort entirely and this is going to be an open field fight. These These guys have to be... Well, they're not. They're just really scattered. I don't know why. At least our conditioning is pretty good. We haven't had to march far. This whole maneuver I had doesn't make a lot of sense for some of these troops now. Like, their loose formation makes me think they'd be militiamen, not militiamen, Minutemen, but... Alright, so we are driving back their skirmishers, I think. Alright, we shattered one of their skirmishing units. God, that artillery is pretty devastating. They just routed my artillery with, or my infantry here with... These green jackets, I believe, are skirmishers. Now, I don't know that, like, the green... I don't think it's the green-jacketed riflemen, per se. But I do think if you went into this era, I believe the Tories were green jackets, I think. So the Americans who were loyalist militia for the British rather than for the independence movement, I think. All right, so we wiped out one of their sort of skirmishing columns. Our own artillery is now firing. We've got at least one battery of them going. I'm not using my troops that efficiently yet. All right, fall back. We destroyed one of their batteries of artillery. Yeah, the artillery against loose formation infantry, not very effective. Nice. I wonder if my artillery can batter a hole in their fort. Can we go wipe that unit out? I don't want them firing into the flank of this company up here. I would rather they melee. Outnumber them 2-1. Take him out, boys. Man, those artillery shells coming right into my flank are problematic. As they would be. Round shot down the long line of a group of troops in close formation. Not going to be a good day for those being targeted. But hey, we've got artillery too. Not something I can usually claim, but we definitely have an advantage here, it would appear, manpower wise. Meanwhile, we're routing this enemy unit. I'm hoping they'll surrender or at least be destroyed. Essex Burhas has been shattered. Meanwhile, it does look like some of the troops over here are light infantry, or at least reduced strength companies. As far as I can tell, they seem to have looser formations along here. I think we are taking more casualties than the enemy, but I think we only have the one battery of artillery too. Unfortunate. I don't know how much ammo I have left for it. A decent amount. I love that double. You can see sometimes the artillery will skip. I don't know if weather plays a factor into when that happens or not. definitely going to rout that company. All right, let's see. They're doing some damage to these boys on this parapet. All right, so those boys are retreating, but we still have a considerable advantage in manpower. Now, the key here is making sure that we don't take too many losses, because the enemy will likely have reinforcements coming down from Ticonderoga. But as much as I can engage the enemy that are here in the open field, I mean, that's really the goal here, right? Is take advantage of these enemy where we can. So we got about 300 muskets here firing into these 50 redcoats. Plus we've got artillery at our backs, which, even if it isn't horribly effective in a manpower sense, it is at least morale impacts are heavy, I believe. Let's overwhelm them. God, that's so much artillery. Pull back to this wood line here. We shattered another enemy company. That was a very ineffective volley at those boys as they ran. Okay. We've got a guard tower that's on fire. I don't have a ton of artillery ammo left. We're going to try and breach here. The bulk of my troops have not been deployed and all are in perfect condition. Assuming there's 2 companies out here. Oh my god, I've got boys out this way. Gonna try and breach. Move these brigade. These are sort of the assaulting formation. The other guys are going to sort of pin the enemy in place. And then those 4 columns objective is to exploit the situation. Meanwhile, it does look like the enemy left may be weak here, so we're going to go ahead and group up some of our more tired units on the left here against some enemy, what appear to be enemy skirmishers, as best I can tell. Okay, let's see if we can break through here with 300 men going up the gut. I don't love artillery flying into my own boys. It's a little bit the Patriot-esque for me. Can we drive them back? It looks like we are. It looks like we've breached. We're successfully inside the walls, boys. This should be it. The Patriots charging over the walls, breaking the enemy sort of initial forces. They've got a lot of artillery in here. Kill them all. The goal is also to destroy as many of these enemy units permanently as possible, because we know this is just the beginning of this campaign. We know that the enemy is going to have, you know, additional... Oh shoot, they're routing me in here. My troops are probably too tired for some of this. But the goal is to destroy some of these units permanently, or as many of them as we can. Because as you do know, there's likely another battle to be fought at Ticonderoga. And we have to make sure that we survive with enough strength to defeat that enemy force, but also, assuming the enemy is going to have, you know, a base to retreat to, which I believe many of them will, we want as few of them to retreat and sort of join them as possible. Looks like we captured a few redcoats. So we've got, I believe there's some greencoat skirmishers up here. We got to try and rout them as well. I think they're going to escape. But in theory, we captured a whole bunch of British guns. I don't know how many of them will actually enter our arsenal. Nice. We shattered that enemy company as it retreated. And I think that's it. All right, boys. We'll take the victory. 2,800 American forces went in with 5 guns. We lost 802 men, so it was not a cheap victory, but we still have over 2,000 effectives. Meanwhile, the enemy went in with 1,300 soldiers and left with 1,000. I think there's at least 200 men that were not accounted for there. They also had 51 POWs, and 9 of their 13 guns were lost. So if we go here, I don't know if we had any of our units actually destroyed. Maybe the one company that was retreating up north. Albert North's company was destroyed. But Richard Trentworth's company was destroyed. Andrew Patty's company, Wilson Kemble, Charles Ogilvie, Stewart and Mott's. So we destroyed 1 skirmishing company, 1 artillery company, 1, 2, 3, 4 infantry companies. I'm assuming that means they will withdraw from the fort, and then we will just be able to occupy it, hopefully, and then fight Saratoga once we have a little bit of time to recoup, sort of rest and recover. Nice, a rich patriot just gave me $2,000, and 580 more British troops are approaching Boston by sea. So Boston is still getting reinforcements. Meanwhile, I guess I have to seize. I'm assuming. Let's go here. If we go to the market, we didn't capture any more guns. So I don't like this mechanic. I prefer the mechanic in Ultimate General Civil War where you capture stuff based on, you know, what happens on the battlefield as opposed to capturing items on the strategic map. That seems silly to me. I'm going to have Butcher move north. I'm going to have my troops stay south. But I want to go ahead and see what's up here at Ticonderoga. So they got about 1,200 troops at Ticonderoga, according to intel. Are we not taking this stuff? Like, what's going on here, boys? I don't know how close you have to be to the fort to take it. I assume a considerable amount of those enemy troops cannot sort of recover. Okay, so we captured some stuff. Let's go ahead and get in the fort. How many troops can the fort hold? 2,300. So actually, we're in a much better situation here with our troops in the garrison here than we were in Albany. Although Albany now has 200 recruits to draw from, whereas Saratoga, less so. All right, so we have 2,100 troops at Saratoga. We outnumber the enemy at Ticonderoga by about 1,000. We don't know what the enemy might have up north at Frederick that could come down and aid them. But Saratoga falling is a nice little feather in our cap. It puts us adjacent to Ticonderoga, which is a major objective. 500 British reinforcements are coming to Boston in addition to the other forces they already have here. So I have to assume they might be gearing up for a drive out on Leicester or Providence, which I can't command in my current location. So I really need to wrap up the campaign in the West here as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, that extra 2,000 gold definitely comes in handy. We're making 50 muskets per day with the weapons we already had, and then possibly some, I guess it looks like we seized some more brown besses, so we're up to 170 in the arsenal. We didn't get any cannons, which is lame, considering, I mean, I guess maybe they spiked them, but like we did seize a good chunk of stuff on the battlefield. So yeah. Anywho, Saratoga, what do we got here? Do we want to drive on Ticonderoga or do we want to wait for reinforcements? If we had the 500 troops at Bennington, I'd move them over. I'd just be worried they'd move troops from Stevens, Hubbardtown, or Fort Level down toward Fort Rice and cut our supply off in our line east to Leicester and Providence. What's our research situation right now? 2 more days and we get 3 more officers. We can raise more regiments. What does Engineers of the Revolution do? Better research speed. Same for Quartermaster Command. There are 274 recruits back there. We're going to send Bush back to Albany. See if he can draw the replacements from there. Get the regular regiment back up to full strength. Hey, there we go. Fort Saratoga captured. As the sun rose over the American countryside, we launched a surprise attack on the Saratoga fort. With an element of surprise on their side, they captured a well-stocked armory containing ammunition, uniforms, and supplies, food and supplies. The successful operation not only provided the Patriots with much-needed resources, but also demoralized the British garrison. 7 4-pound Galloper guns. Nice. Did any of these companies... It doesn't look like any of our companies were actually permanently destroyed here, so. Get Bush into Albany, where you can rest and draw some supplies. Saratoga, meanwhile, has nice fully stocked provisions and ammo. Actually, it looks like they've got more in stock than their... Okay, so 451 more men there. Troops must move around the strategic map a bit. Meanwhile, tensions between the Iroquois and Spain are rising. France and Miami's are rising. Miami's and Britain are rising. Cherokee and France are rising. Okay. So Albany has no more recruits. Saratoga poured those into their boys there. But yeah, it looks like troops move around the strategic map, even recruits. So that's nice, I suppose. So now we've got 2,100 troops at Saratoga plus the Albany troops here. Meanwhile, we get the 3 more regimental officers. We go back to Continental Army because we need that. 42 days away on that. Okay. Let's give it one more day. We'll give it till July 2nd. At least to allow these guys to recuperate, get their conditioning back up. It doesn't look like the enemy had many reinforcements at Ticonderoga, which they could add to the troops that retreated there from Saratoga. We'll see if that changes on July 2nd. It didn't appear to. Did everybody pull all of their troops into that one big effort to reinforce? Because I've got, I mean, pretty under strength. I don't like the idea of sending my Fusiliers on in so under strength. We're going to apply those guys, give those guys the 4-pound Galloper guns. And I don't know if this means 52 days to be completely reinforced. That kind of feels like what it's trying to say. Which is not great. Especially if the British are bringing in 500 reinforcements. Can we sneak these guys somewhere? I want to try and sneak this brig. Oh no. What is this battle? The USS Rolls versus the Igira. 2 stars, 2 stars, 28 guns to 18. (110) crew and 2 officers to 195 crew. I don't like the odds. They were just waiting there, apparently. I didn't even see them. I was trying to get that brig down to Newport where they could form a little fleet. I don't like the odds of this. Not very good at naval combat in this game anyway. All right. So, given we know the British sent more troops to Boston, I am going to raise 1 more regiment at Leicester so that we've got about 4,500 troops between the 2 towns. It'll be a militia regiment. Albert Cole will be in command. Let's actually wait. Let's not do that. I wanted to, sorry, I know I didn't hit the apply button, but I wanted to, I'm a kind of a stickler of like, I want these units to appear as I want them to appear. So I'm going to do, I want the artillery to be at the bottom of that. So it's a regiment of 4 companies, 3 militia, 1 artillery. The artillery is going to use the 3-pound Galloper guns, which were vacated by the troops at Albany as they upgraded to 4-pounders. So we'll get some artillery. We'll have 450 troops using civilian muskets. I don't know that I'll have enough. I won't have enough for all of those troops. But it'll take time. We'll have to build more muskets and stuff. So we'll raise 1 more regiment here at Leicester. So when it's at full strength, that'll be 550 men, 450 infantry, 100 artillery. So it'll be, right now it's got 80 men. So it'll be 470 more men, which will bring them to 1,100 men. Or 2,100 men, sorry. And between the two, it'll be 4,600. So we'll begin to perhaps get into a position where we can take Boston, or at least scout out in that direction. Meanwhile, how's the construction management going? Production infrastructure is going to take another 26 days, so it will not arrive in time. I don't believe there's any way to accelerate it. Maybe if we go to the colony management here. Oh, I think the reason it built it on its own was because I had selected the production development. So basically I told the game, I want you to auto manage this province's production, and that's what it chose to do. Okay. Let's turn that off for now just so I can produce the stuff myself. And then New York needs a doctrine too, now that we've taken, I think, almost all of the New York locations that are on the map. So New York is not as loyal right now, right? Does it tell me what their loyalty is? So Saratoga is 79% loyal. Albany's 79% loyal. Kinston 65. Montgomery's 80. But I think some of that's due to our success there. That being said, I definitely think we're going to go ahead and we're going to focus on propaganda to improve the loyalty of that colony, because it is the least loyal of the colonies for us. Rhode Island. I don't know where we're borrowing the factories from. But let's do mining, because there is some mining there, and that matters, I think. Or maybe recruiting. We'll do training. We've got 2,500 troops in that province. I think that's everything right now. The other provinces are all off map. Anyway, I think we are going to try and fight this naval battle rather than have the AI auto resolve it. I'm not optimistic in my skills. You guys have seen me fight a naval battle one other time. But that being said, we're already about 50 minutes into this episode, so we will save that for another time. I hope you guys are enjoying this series. We got another victory there at Saratoga. We are within striking distance of Ticonderoga. We've got a nice little, we outnumber them by about 1,000. I have a hunch Fort Frederick has enough to bring that up to even, and I don't want to assault a fort with even odds. Also, my troops are tired. And Ticonderoga is an even more fort. I was wrong. Saratoga is a level 2 fort, which is what we already dealt with down here at Montgomery. Ticonderoga is a 3. So I don't know if you can just charge up the ramparts and go at them. I'm not sure. But we'll find out next time. Until next time, however, this is the Historical Gamer, once again, saying thank you very much for watching, as always. And until next time, I'm out.